Good morning, everyone. Your presentation, you made mention under component of the removal of the bottlenecks. My question is, what are the bottlenecks?
Let me start with the last slide that talks about the need to professionalize planning department. I think the department is already professionalized because they have is like they are pool officers, and before they are recruited, the civil service recruitment guidelines are followed and professionals are recruited. But they are posted from the pool, so the ministry has no control over their posting. So the need for professionalizing should be removed. Secondly, the linkages, synergy of the ministry. What of the synergy within the ministry? Because it's like every department function on their own without adequate or proper linkages with other departments. And that is why you see a lot of duplication of effort. During the last regime, they tried to avoid this by concentrating all the effort and making sure that every department go after their mandate. And there is always a meeting point. Every Monday, we all meet to discuss what is going to happen that week and provide solutions. These are missing, and it needs to be injected in. Thank you. And finally, the composition of the group member is loose-sided, and that is why you get what you have, because there are a lot of ministry staff here present that were not included in that group. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I think those are very important points, especially the issue, and I'll come back to you towards the end for comment, especially the issue of coordination or integration or harmonization of the department within the ministry. That is something that we can highlight as a key ingredient that will support alignment. If these things are not there, you don't even know which one to go to, and you have lots of problems. Okay, number 3. Or 4, yeah.
I don't know whether I missed it out in the presentation, but what actually drove us to the issue of ministry was the issue of lack of continuity of programs from one administration to the other. I don't know whether it was captured. If not, please, I think we need to put it. Number 2, whenever there is a committee that has the end product to go to the farmer or to the private sector, I think we should always remember to put them at the beginning so that they start up at the planning point and go through all the stages along with the researchers and those who are bringing up the product that will eventually go to them. So in that composition, I think the private sector must be adequately represented. And in this wise, I would say NABG should always be remembered to be put there. And then practicing farmers should always be remembered also. Thank you.
Okay, so your last point is basically saying whenever there is any initiative that is supposed to end up with farmers and everything, we need to make sure the private sector is in there and also the farmer groups are represented. I hope you guys are taking notes. The ministry group, yeah? Before then, you made a point, I'm trying to recall. The whole thing about, there is something about consistency, but that's a different issue. I think this is a specific issue. And I think the way we should put that is to say we appreciate the fact that we can see evidence of the previous ATA having been built into the APP. And we think that is a good idea. Now, moving forward, we really want the ministry to take steps to really deepen that consistency so that policy doesn't change in that sort of way every now and then you have a change. Yeah? I want to ask Dr. Baye to make a comment from the perspective of FMAD, and he is also Director for Planning. So it will be good to hear from him. I'm sorry. Okay.
Their concerns is I want to see more of what they presented. We need to do like what key actors mapping. Then I want to recommend the innovation platform process. What I'm saying this is, I'm aware that FARA and FORAF are technical arms of ECOWAS and AU, and Nigeria is big brother to all these organizations. So, and the other one is, sorry, I don't know whether it's relevant here. Son, we do not said they are looking for strong individuals in strong institutions. At times you have, the institutions are strong, but when I say individual, I'm not talking about it. The individual is supposed to drive something. Then you have strong individuals, but the institutions are not given the necessary support. So in your discussion, as you make your, how do you bring this into being? And finally, I'm also aware that when we talk about the ministry, the technical department, the professionals, are actually the ones that advise the minister through the permanent secretary. Is it that you are giving the PAMSEC or the minister the wrong ad? Because when even government talk about policy, you are the one that will drive those policies and write all the technical. At times you cannot do it. You bring people from the research institute or the university to come and sit with you and do all those things. So is it that there's something that is missing that the technical people in the ministry need to distribute?
Okay. Dr. Baye.
Thank you again for the opportunity. I'll first of all start with the person who mentioned that the membership was lopsided. So, in another way, he was just indicting himself. That shows that he was not around when the constitution of the committee were there. So, I think he should apologize. And then he also mentioned on the issue of planning, research, and statistics. That is why that is not that is professionalized. That is far from the truth. Because the Planning, Research, and Statistics Department, which is now known as the Planning and Policy Coordination Department, is a pool department. It was pooled because of the last civil service reform, which pooled all planning officers, research officers, and even a statistician. You can be posted to any part of any of the MDAs. So the minister or the permanent secretary does not have any say in that. So he has no choice. Whoever is sent to him will definitely have to come around and work with him. So must have to receive him. So contrary to how it used to be in the past, it was a professional department. At that time, we had all subject matter specialists that constituted what we call the Central Planning Department before the reform. So at that time, we would have things like cultural officers, we have cultural economists, we have fishery officers, and forestry officers, and all the like were represented in that planning. And planning was working. When you come to planning, you know that, yeah, this is more or less like an academic institution, but this is not. So because all people that come to do planning today are people who even have the basic agriculture. So you plan, people don't have knowledge about. So, and that is why we had made a case that this situation should be reversed. In fact, it reached the point of the Federal Executive Council even deliberated on it. But somehow, because of certain interests, this was downplayed. Up to this moment, we don't have anything on that. There's no any blue paper or maybe white paper on it. So I think that is the reason why we are recommending that for this particular initiative to work, we need to have subject matter specialists in planning who will endeavor and ensure that the alignment is working. You cannot bring somebody who read history to come and head a division that is research and statistics. I remember there are some of them, when they come, when you present a paper to them that has contained data, they will just run away. They say, in fact, they feel they'll be moving, So how can you imagine that somebody like that will take us forward? So that's why we have been fighting that the department should be professionalized.
When they are going to lobby, let it be an encompassing,
Thank you.
not large group.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So that is what I just want to chip in.
Yeah. Thank
so
you.
that it will not be
And
just
it is
limited.
consistent with what you said before.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. So at the point, you are making the point that those three could still be the leading process in the process, but let them be backed up by the other partners that are respected in different constituencies in the system, because then that voice will be more powerful. Thank you. You want to respond, right? Or a comment on it, you mean?
I think we're talking about two different things. That 3-point committee, our job is not lobbying. That 3-point committee is how do we take forward what we have talked about in terms of being able to meet with the minister, in terms of being able to identify a focal person within parliament or something. There are things. But additional to that, lobbying is something else, okay? In lobbying, you have to be part of the system. You've got to be in there, you know the political connections and So those are very different. What we are going to be doing is just making sure that the decisions we are taking here with regard to ARCN, they are not just left on paper. But that at least from our side, we can go to the appropriate places within the ministry, try to see what support, get advice, and see how through all that mechanism we can. But additional to that, if there is opportunity for lobbying, whether it is through private sector or through women group or through farmer association, etc., I think that opportunity is also there. And probably, I don't know, FMAD may be the one to drive that if they so wish, or private sector or anything like that.
Thank you. Yeah, just last point, but only on which topic? Okay, if it's on this, I'm on the inner loop. Just give me 1 minute. This is the inner loop, not the outer.
Thank you very much. On the lobby, nothing from the ministry goes straight forward. Yes. So let us have the private sector. Then again, the issue of integration should be there, because that is why the AU said that their grant should be by partners. You cannot come and give you. You find other groups. If you are a researcher, get the end user of your product and come with them. So we should start to practice all these things.
So the last one I will not comment on, because it's a slightly different thing. But what you are talking about, that the lobbying part. Yeah. And so basically what you are saying is, let us take it upon ourselves to make that process happen. In addition to what Kwesi has said. Can I now go back to the outer loop? You want to keep me back in the inner loop, which is just one thing, like this. I note with concern that it might be this. Okay.
Yeah, the people in this room are actually not good at lobbying.
Yeah.
But we are very good at making presentations that can be convincing. So one of the things we could do is go to the House Committee on Agriculture, and we'll make a presentation as a group, maybe like 6 to 10 people, which will be composition of all the different stakeholders. Okay. Make presentation on some of the activities of agricultural research extension and why the reform of ARCN is key to achieving impact. You do that with the committee in the House of Rep, you do that with the committee in the Senate. And then
okay, thank you.
The job is done.
Okay, thank you. Can you take the microphone? Let me just stop here and note something. Kwesi's caution is not without reason. This is a CGIAR center. And there are certain things that the country can do, the people in this room can do, which the CG centers could not do in the same way. So let's just separate those. And I think sometimes we are mixing them. It is not that there is no need for lobbying. is saying who is best placed to lead the lobbying. That is actually the issue. We have got to a point, there's a reason, I'm just looking at the door right now, there's a reason we are going to move to the next question, please. Numbers can be created, you know that, yeah.
My comment is on the alignment among the donors, alignment among the donors,
yeah, yes,
and they're running with the policy of government.
Yes.
What Dr. Kwesi said, with respect to strong strategic plan, and what somebody else suggested about the political will. Political will.
Yeah.
I want to give an example. During the ATA, the platform for renewal of the GES, and I remember in one of the meetings that I attended, when some of the donors came and had their programs, the advice was, whatever is your program, make sure it will be able to run on the platform of GES. Some of them that could not do that, well, so I want to advise that strong political will, whatever it is,
yeah,
that whatever strategy that's on ground should only be allowed to run. Whoever wants to come in should run along with it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are moving. Thank you very much. I'm glad you were able to get out of your chest some of the residuals.